Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. This time, we're going deep on something I think we all can relate to. The path to mastery.
Mastery, yeah.
You guys sent in some fascinating stuff focused on financial markets.
Okay.
But it's really about reaching that expert level
Right.
in, honestly, any field.
Yeah.
And the sources even hint at this surprising reason why so many people never quite reach their full potential. It's not just about, lack of talent or hard work. It's something else.
Well, the sources really highlight that the real key is understanding the different stages of this journey.
Stages, okay.
From novice all the way up to master, each level kind of demands its own mindset approach, even commitment level.
Okay, so it's like leveling up in a video game, but in real life.
Yeah. You're gathering those skills, experience points, knowledge along the way.
I love that analogy. So the source lays out these 4 stages: novice, amateur, expert, and master. We're going to unpack what it takes to thrive at each level. What about that starting point, the novice stage?
Yeah, well, what's interesting is the source really emphasizes fun. Enjoyment in that initial exploration phase.
Okay.
It's all about playfulness and curiosity.
Yeah.
Not intense commitment or immediate results. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to stick with it.
Right. It's like picking up a new hobby. If it feels like a chore, you're probably not going to keep at it.
Right.
But if you're genuinely curious, having fun, much more likely to stay engaged.
Totally. And I think the biggest hurdle for novices is just overcoming that fear of starting.
Yeah.
Not getting overwhelmed by that initial learning curve.
That feeling of like, where do I even begin?
Exactly. How many times have you thought, I want to learn that, but then never actually did?
Oh, all the time. It's that analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
The source even mentions this in their expertise mastery development plan. For novices, they actually say the learning curve should be relaxing to low.
Low.
Start slow, keep it fun, don't get ahead of yourself. They even stress the importance of finding joy in those early stages.
Makes sense. How about you? When you were starting out, what helped you push past those hurdles?
For me, it was finding a community.
A community.
Having people who understood the struggles, people I could bounce ideas off of, celebrate those small wins with, made the journey so much less intimidating.
It's like a shared adventure then.
Exactly. And speaking of exploring, that brings us to the amateur stage.
Okay, yeah.
Now here, the source emphasizes branching out, experimenting with the different styles and approaches. They actually give the example of someone trying out different investing strategies, like technical analysis versus value investing. They argue this exploration is crucial for building...
What do they call it?
Webs of knowledge.
The webs of knowledge.
It's this idea that the more diverse your experiences, the more connections you make. Right.
And the easier it becomes to identify your strengths and passions.
I love that. It's like each experience is a thread.
Yeah.
And as you gather more, you're weaving this tapestry of understanding.
I love that visual. It's like creating your own mental map, uncovering those hidden pathways.
Yeah.
What about your journey? Were there specific approaches or experiences in that amateur stage that really shaped your path?
Absolutely. Early in my career, I was just fascinated by different schools of thought within my field. So I kind of, I immersed myself in various methodologies, some really technical, some more conceptual. And through all that, I discovered this passion for the analytical side, which led me to specialize.
Wow. So it's almost like experimenting in the amateur stage led you to your true calling.
You could say that.
So we've got the novice dipping their toes in, having fun, then the amateur branching out, building that web of knowledge. But at some point, things need to get a little more serious, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's where we transition to the expert level. Exactly. And the sources, they point out that reaching this level requires a pretty big shift in mindset.
Okay.
It's no longer just playful exploration.
Right.
It's about developing genuine expertise.
Expertise. Okay.
And that demands commitment, intense learning, and a willingness to push beyond your comfort zone.
And the sources get super specific. Like they talk about these aspiring Thai quants, quantitative analysts working in Thai financial markets. They outline courses, skills to focus on, even estimate like 2,000 hours to reach expertise.
Wow.
It's a serious commitment.
It really shows the dedication needed. It's about finding the right resources, the right practice, really seeking out those challenges.
But this is where things can get tricky, right?
Yeah.
The source warns about those pitfalls at this stage.
Yeah.
Unrealistic expectations, high anxiety.
Right.
Even falling back into that comfort zone. They call these avoidances in their expertise mastery development plan, like Be aware of these mental traps.
Yeah.
Have you encountered any of those on your journey?
Well, absolutely. Early on, I got caught up in unrealistic expectations, thinking I should be progressing faster, more breakthroughs. And that pressure just created self-doubt.
Oh, yeah.
And it actually slowed me down. I learned to celebrate those small wins, embrace the process, and be patient.
That's such a good reminder. It's so easy to compare ourselves to others.
Yeah.
Set unrealistic timelines. But mastery takes time, and it's rarely a straight line.
Totally. It's about navigating those bumps in the road.
Right, that resilience. So we've talked about that initial fun, the branching out, and now this intense focus. But the source hints that the real magic happens when you push past even the expert level and enter the realm of mastery.
The realm of mastery. Sounds exciting.
It is. But before we dive into that, I think it's time to talk about some tools and techniques that can help master the mental game and really accelerate our journey.
I like it. A little toolkit. Let's get practical. One thing that really stood out to me in the source material was the emphasis on what they called learning loops.
Learning loops. Oh, yeah. They described it as this cyclical process. You learn something, put it into practice, get feedback, then refine your skills.
Right. Constant improvement, not just checking boxes and moving on.
It's about consistently honing your approach.
Exactly. And they even talk about setting clear goals for each loop. Like, what do you specifically want to learn or practice during this cycle? That focus is key.
I see how this connects. You've got the stages of mastery, and within each stage, you're cycling through these learning loops, leveling up as you go.
Like a roadmap and training regimen all in one.
Exactly. And they give you tools. They call them learning facilitators. It's like a whole toolkit to speed up your journey.
Toolkit, okay.
Did they break it down by stage? Because what helps a novice might be different for an expert, right?
They did. For novices, they recommend building self-motivation, finding materials that spark that initial excitement.
Makes sense. Got to hook yourself on the subject before you can really dive in.
For sure. Then, at the amateur stage, the focus shifts to finding the right environment, the right tools for consistent practice. Think supportive communities, mentors, resources for structured learning.
It's like building your support system.
Exactly. Like a team of guides for your journey.
Love that. And then you move to expert level, things get even more specialized.
Right. They emphasize mentors and challenges that push you beyond that comfort zone.
They call this deliberate practicing, right?
Yes. And the tasks you choose should be well-defined, aligned with your skill level, and give you immediate detailed feedback.
Personalized growth.
Exactly. Now, at the master level, things shift again. It's more about self-directed learning and immersing yourself in the field.
I actually differentiate ordinary learning from immersive learning.
Right. Ordinary learning focuses on discrete lessons, gaining competency in common tasks. Immersive learning is about continuous absorption.
Wow.
Developing your own style, pushing those boundaries.
So it's like learning a song on the piano versus composing a whole symphony.
Perfect analogy.
I'm also guessing the feedback you receive changes as you move toward mastery.
Absolutely. At the master level, it's less from external sources and more from, a deep understanding of the field, honing your instincts.
It's like they've internalized the feedback loop.
Exactly. They even mention mental feedback at this level.
Mental feedback?
It's about developing acute self-awareness, like having an inner coach constantly analyzing your performance.
Okay, I love that image. So you're not just gaining skills. You're developing this profound self-awareness to refine your approach.
You got it. And they even provide some practical examples.
Oh, good.
For those aspiring taekwons. Specific skills like coding, backtesting, market analysis, portfolio construction.
Wow, they really get into the nitty-gritty.
They do. Yeah. But regardless of your field, the key is that intentional, structured approach to skill development. They even suggest goal setting for task lesson skill development. Setting those SMART goals.
Breaking it down into those manageable steps makes it so much more achievable.
Absolutely. And one of the most powerful learning facilitators they talk about, especially as you move towards expert and master levels, is what they call strength niche to talent edge finding. It's about identifying what you naturally excel at.
So not just working hard, but working smart.
Exactly. They even have some thought-provoking questions.
Oh, like
What do you naturally enjoy? What are you willing to do for free?
Yeah.
What comes easily to you that others struggle with?
Those are great. It's like giving yourself permission to lean into those natural talents.
And they have a roadmap for building upon those strengths.
Okay, tell me more.
5 steps. Figure it out. Identify those strengths. Apply it to a part of your mastery path. Focus on it. Extend it to other parts gradually. And finally, embrace it as a part of your life.
Wow, it's like building your life around your strengths. And this all connects back to that what matters table, right?
Absolutely. How purpose, motivation, activity, all those things shift as you go through the stages.
It's a holistic view, so much more than just skills. What stands out to you as the most important takeaway for our listeners?
I'd say it's intentionality.
Intentionality, yeah.
Each stage requires that conscious effort to cultivate the right mindset, find the right resources, balance expectations.
It's an ongoing process, always learning, adapting, refining.
Exactly. But there's one more piece I think is crucial.
Okay.
The source talks about case studies.
Case studies? Oh, right.
Real examples of people who've navigated this path.
Yeah.
Each with their own challenges and successes.
That makes it so much more tangible. I'm excited to dive into those. Let's see what we can learn. Wait, let's dive into these case studies, see what we can learn from others' journeys.
All right. One that really caught my eye was titled A Genius with No Chance.
Oh, interesting.
It's about someone with tons of natural talent.
Okay.
But ultimately, they fall short of mastery.
Why? What happened?
They seem to lack those other key ingredients. The dedication, the structured learning, the ability to push through challenges.
It proves that talent alone isn't enough.
Exactly. And they have another one, a perfect student perfectionism.
Perfectionism, okay.
This person, straight A's, excelled in academics.
Right.
But in the real world, with all its messiness, they struggled.
The classic perfectionist track.
Right.
So afraid to make a mistake, they never really grow.
Right. It's like they avoid failure so much.
Yeah.
They never take the risks necessary for real progress.
It's a good reminder that mastery isn't about being flawless. It's about embracing that messiness, learning from those mistakes.
And they have a cautionary tale. An experienced consultant commitment and exhaustion.
Oh, this sounds familiar.
Strong work ethic, very committed.
Okay.
But they ended up burning out. No balance.
Easy to fall into that trap. You get so focused on excellence.
Yeah.
You forget mastery is a marathon.
It's about sustainability, finding that pace that lets you progress without sacrificing yourself.
Thankfully, they also have a positive example. A newcomer balance to all the way.
Oh, good.
This person found that balance. Dedicated, but with a healthy perspective. Achieved success without burning out.
It shows it's possible, right?
It is. It's about finding that sustainable path, thriving both personally and professionally.
Makes me think of that saying, the master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried.
Those setbacks are inevitable. It's what you learn from them that counts.
Absolutely. And the source shows this with another case study. A talent strength to other fields.
Interesting.
This person, their strengths went beyond their initial expertise. And they found success in a totally different field.
Wow, so inspiring. Our skills are transferable. Sometimes mastery in one area opens doors elsewhere.
It's about those underlying principles.
Yeah.
Applying them to different contexts.
And speaking of context, they also highlight environment and mindset with a graduate learning and mental environment.
Right.
This person thrived in a supportive environment.
Okay.
Encouraged to take risks.
Shows the power of surrounding yourself with the right people.
It's not just an individual pursuit, it's collaborative.
Yeah.
Those mentors, peers, communities, they make a difference.
But of course, it's not always easy. There's an analyst overconfidence.
Oh.
Let confidence turn into arrogance. Led to bad decisions and setbacks.
Humility is so important.
For sure. Always more to learn.
Right. Staying open to feedback. Don't let your ego get in the way.
And to wrap up these case studies, they offer examples that really show adaptability and lifelong learning.
It's like what?
A fund manager, maturity, and different styles evolve their approach over time, not afraid to try new things.
Mastery isn't about clinging to rigid formulas. No. It's about staying flexible.
And lastly, a doctor expectation.
Expectation.
Learn to manage expectations, find fulfillment in the journey itself.
Right, not just chasing external success.
It's about that intrinsic reward of learning and growing.
I love that. So these case studies really paint a picture of mastery's complexity.
It's not one size fits all. It's a journey of self-discovery, perseverance, growth.
Finding your own path, embracing the challenges, and ultimately finding joy in becoming your best self.
So everyone listening, remember, mastery is a journey, not a destination.
It's a mindset.
Continuous learning, embracing challenges, finding joy in the pursuit of excellence.
And don't be afraid to start. Take that first step. Find what sparks your curiosity. Trust the process. Even the masters were once novices. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.